Hi, this is Kathy from Craft with Kathy. Thanks for joining me this beautiful Thursday evening. I've got an interesting little project here that basically is going to use just a little piece of this month's Club Couture, and then a pallet board, an embroidery hoop, and a little bit of floral, some twine, and a little bit of chalk. And I just think it's such an adorable idea, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Let me know where you're viewing from, and I'll give everyone just a minute or two to get comfy. This is this month's April's. Where'd that come from? April's Club Couture. And if you're not familiar with Club Couture, let me tell you a little bit about it right before I jump into this project. I'll just be a minute or two. Club Couture is a subscription program offered by Chalk Couture, and it gives you every month one 8.5 by 11-inch transfer. Our transfers are kind of like stencils, but they're made out of vinyl and silkscreen, and they're adhesive backed, and they are reusable. And 3 individual paste packets specifically coordinated to go with the monthly design. The design or this transfer is exclusive to club members and designers. So if you'd like to have a little hour of creativity showing up on your doorstep every month, comment club below and I could send you the link to find out a little bit more about it. It's $19.99 a month plus tax. Shipping is on us, and then club members have special perks. They get a flat rate shipping on any orders regardless of the size of just $4.95. And there's also different perks during the month. This month, if you purchase $75, you can get our magnetic premium 8-in board regularly, I think $39.99 for 50% off. So that's really a good deal. So anyway, I'm going to get on started with this. I am not going to use the pastes that come with it. I've got something else in mind, but I am going to use this transfer, and I'm just going to use a teeny bit of it. And then I've got a couple different techniques and things I want to show you that I think is going to be lots of fun tonight. And I realize I've got a little bit different of a setup, and I hope everything is clear and legible and you can see everything. Hi Brenda, how you doing? This is our pallet board. It's like a whitewashed board. It's double-sided. I'm going to use this side for what I'm going to do. And this is just a 7-inch embroidery hoop that I haven't taken the tag fully off of. I've kind of got it stuck all over my fingers here. So let me get that off. Oops. Really, literally, it's stuck all over my fingers. And then I have some flowers that I just grabbed from my stash, and I was looking through things and I couldn't find anything exactly what I couldn't find exactly what I wanted. And then I said I wanted something on a smaller type of petals in a particular color, but I couldn't find anything. And then it dawned on me, hello, color them yourself. So that's what I'm going to actually get started doing first. I don't want white. I need something with a little bit more pop to this project, and I am going to actually use this little packet of raspberry sorbet that I used as part of my how to take care of chalk paste the other day, and I couldn't find my washi tape, so I used a hair clip. Actually, it works fine. Here's my washi tape. So I'm going to take a little bit out of my packet. See, I had folded it down so that wouldn't get any air in there. And I actually should have squeezed or wiped off the top because I had a little bit gushing out of the top. But I'm just going to put a little dab of this in my color tray. I pushed my paste all the way down to the bottom, so let me get in there and scoop some out. Oh, I'm making a mess here, aren't I? I gotta look and see what I'm trying to scoop. Well, this is interesting. I talked about old chalk paste and I just realized this is not our Creamy Dreamy formula. This is our old formula, which probably is expired because it means I've had this for probably 2 years. So let me just, I'll give you a demo on how to reconstitute a little bit of it. Oh goodness. Surprise, surprise, how's that? If I had realized that when I was doing the thing about chalk paste, I could have used this as part of the how-to. This isn't chunky, but obviously it has thickened up. So let me add a little spritz of water, which I was going to do anyway, because I'm going to do a little bit of painting with this. But then I will also do a little chalking with it. So I'm just going to dissolve a little bit in here. I put a little bit too much water for chalking. This will be a little bit too runny, but that's fine because I'm going to do a little painting and then I'll do a little chalking. When you paint with our chalk paste, you want it not really creamy. Normally our paste is like yogurt or sour cream. And when you paint with it, you want it watered down quite a bit because you want to kind of usually watercolor it or watercolor with it. So I'm just smushing this in, dissolving that little dried paste up there. I'm going to actually add a teensy bit more water. I think I've probably made this a little bit, put a little bit too much paste in there, but that's fine because like I said, I'm going to use this for my actual paste too eventually. Okay, so I said, gee, I really wanted pink flowers, but I only had white in the small little flowers. And then it was like, hello, why don't you just paint them, Kathy? Ooh, I need a little bit more water in there. I need to thin that down even more. And get my brush a little more saturated so that I could do this fairly quickly. I'm going to try not to hit that little center. And I don't have to paint all of them. I could just paint a couple. It really depends on what the look I want is. And in reality, if you've never tried coloring your embellishments with our chalk, it's real easy. As you can see, just like I'm doing here. And I have also used our chalk paste to paint ribbon or to color ribbon to color coordinate with the project. And it's pretty easy, but what I generally would do for ribbon instead of painting it like this is I would put some of this liquid or diluted paste in a baggie and throw my ribbon in there and just kind of squish it around and then pull the ribbon out, let it dry. Obviously, being that this is attached to leaves, I can't do that, but I think this will work fine. And it'll totally match the paste that I use on the project. One of the nice things about it is I don't have to have, well, I do have too much floral as it is, just like I have too much ribbon. I wish I had realized this long ago, because if I just buy white ribbon in all the different lengths and widths and whatever and designs that I want, I could basically color my ribbon to match all my projects. Don't want any paste on the center there. And actually have much smaller stash of ribbon. I'm a ribbon freak, which is a little bit of a problem. A little bit of a problem with storage. What can I say? And this will dry fairly quickly. But it's easy to do. And if I really wanted to be fancy, if I probably wasn't live, I might want to do a deeper color in the centers and then lighter on the outside, or vice versa, and just basically change the shading based upon how much water I've added to my paste. Obviously, more water, you're going to get a lighter result. Less water, you're going to get a deeper color. Maybe I'll go for a little bit deeper on this one. I really like our little palette board. Obviously, it's double-sided. It lends itself to being distressed, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to distress it tonight or not, and I decided no. I'll see how it looks when I'm done with the project. Then if I think it needs to be distressed, I'll distress it, but I'm not going to up front. Sometimes it really depends how the rest of the project goes and what it looks like and what you want the end result to be. So, hi Terry, how you doing? Almost done with this. I know I try to be quick when I'm doing something like this because I feel like I'm having you watch waiting for paint to dry, which is, you know, no fun. Oops, I got a little clump of paste on there. Let me get that off. Just kind of watch what I'm doing with my brush and pull these petals apart so that I could get them all colored. I think I'm going to do all of them. I was thinking of leaving some white, but I really want more of the pop of color because this is kind of plain, but it's simple, it's cute, it's easy, and it's quick. And actually the embellishments are relatively inexpensive. Embroidery hoops. This is only a 7-inch embroidery hoop, so it's not real expensive and kind of fun to do things with. And then I've got some jute. I don't use a lot of jute, but I think the rustic kind of look will go good with this, kind of as a counterpoint. So I had to go dig that out. Let's see, I've got one more flower here. And remember, our paste is water soluble, so I know I'm getting this all over my fingers, but it's fine. It'll come right off. It's not gonna harm anything, and it's a lot easier to work with and clean up with than like acrylic paint. And obviously if I want this deeper colored, I can let them dry and then come back and give it another layer if I wanted to. I like how this flower with a little bit more crinkling around the edges, this cloth flower, I like how it took the paste very nicely. Let's see if I've got everything covered here. I think so. If not, I could go, oops, I need a little bit more on this one. I could always go back and hit it later. I've got a leaf underneath there that I don't think I got. Oops, I guess I did. Just a little light. Hope everyone's had a good week this week. I can't believe it's already Thursday. My week has just kind of flown by. A lot going on, but everything pretty good. I mean, kind of good. Well, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let me put that to the side, and then I'm going to squeeze some of this paste out, my dried paste that I didn't realize was dried. I could have used this in my other little live. It would have been my perfect example to show how to reconstitute this stuff, because this definitely is crumbling. I'm guessing there's no date on this package. I'm guessing it's probably 2 years old. It just kind of got mixed up with things and I just never used it. So now I need this to be a thicker consistency. I want it to be more of our paste, more of our yogurt kind of thing, and I'm going to just mush this up until it seems right. I might need to add a little bit more chalk paste here. We'll see how this really goes. I don't need a lot for what I'm planning to do. I'm just going to use part of that transfer tonight, so I just really need a very small amount. We'll kind of get this mixed up a little bit here, and then we'll go on to another part about this part of it. I'm going to let this, it's a little bit runny, but I think I'm going to just let this set and dry a little bit. Just want to get all the little clumps out of there. And then I'll go back to that. So what I want to do is take this hoop apart. Oops, I've got some chalk crumbles there that I don't want there. Take my little hoop apart, and I'm going to wrap some jute around it. a couple little turns. You unwind some of this. More of that sticker still on there. Okay. You know what, actually, I'm going to knot this initially just to hold it in place while I do a little wrapping. So it doesn't slip and slide on me. Okay. And then I'll cut off the excess. I got too much looped around here. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Oh, I want this down. I don't want it quite in the center. I want it a little bit further down. Okay, that'll be fine. Wouldn't you know? I grabbed the wrong end. Let me cut that off. Oh, I never said I wasn't clumsy. And in retrospect, I should have had my hot glue gun out for this, thinking about it, because it would probably be a good thing to put a little dab of hot glue to hold this in place. I'll just hit it with it later after I'm done with this. So I just want, oops. I've got Mom watching a Clark Gable movie. She loves Clark Gable. Oops. This might be a little bit more challenging than I was expecting here. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's sliding up on me. Maybe I should have started lower and worked my way up. Seriously, this isn't funny. I might have to put this on my lap to do it. But basically, just wrap around the hoop. I am going to move this off camera so that I can work with it a little bit closer to me and get it to hold in one place. Actually, I've got a couple glue dots out here. Let me just grab a glue dot, at least temporarily. It'll hold it from slipping. Yeah, right. I didn't count how many twists I put around here, but you want it fairly dense. I think that's probably enough right there. Let me just go right around the other edge. Now, bear in mind, I'm going to fortify this with some hot glue probably at some point, but once you get it on there, then you put the outside hoop over it. That's gonna hold it pretty snugly in place. And you just want it to be straight with the little hoop mechanism at the top. Yep, I need to undo that a little bit more. Sam's Club's interesting, kind of like a Costco run, which I haven't done in ages, not actually since the pandemic started. But I know by the time I'm done with shopping and get checked out, get everything into the car, get everything into the house, and everything put away, it's a battle sometimes. There's a lot of work there. So I'm just tightening this up, and of course I just cut myself. Me didn't think about the metal being that sharp. That's weird. I wonder if there's a, yeah, there's a burr on that little edge. Okay. Well, that's a new one. I've never cut myself in a live before. Anyway, basically, there we go. Well, this is still a little wet, so I'm going to set it aside yet. Let that continue to dry. Put my hoop aside here and stir up my paste. 7 items. Wow. Yep. I hear ya. Haven't prices like gone crazy? I mean, just in general, and I'm not really good at remembering prices. My mom used to be great at that. But it seems like every time I place an order, it's ridiculous. I can't do an Instacart for less than $100 generally because it's just crazy. I can't. I'm not dragging Mom through the taking the chance of her bringing her into a store with me. So hence Instacart. Get my thumb to stop bleeding here for a second. Okay, so where did I put my fuzzing cloth? I'm only going to use 2 of the words from this transfer. So let me take it out of its little pack. Oh, I've got it out of the package, and I'm just going to fuzz it. I could have left, you know what, I might actually leave the backing on part of it. No sense fuzzing the whole thing if I'm only using the words or part of the words. So, whoops. See, this is why you label the back of your carrier sheet, the glossy side, the dull side, label the dull side. I almost put the dull side down on my adhesive back. Just a nice little reminder, you see that, is you're going to be less apt to accidentally stick the wrong side down. So glossy always goes against our adhesive side. Dang, my thumb's still bleeding. Okay, so I'm just deliberately applying a little lint or fuzz to the back of this transfer so that it doesn't stick quite as snugly as it would otherwise. Now I'm going on wood, so generally 3 times is enough fuzzing for me. If I was doing this on mirror or glass though, or metal, I would fuzz quite a bit more. And I am just gonna eyeball this. I want it pretty close up to the top. Oops. And let's see if this appears to be straight. This looks pretty good. Now, usually I'm pretty good at eyeballing it, and I'm gonna just go with it. I think that's fine. Okay. So let me give this a little mix up again. Still seems a little bit thin to me. I could probably add another little piece of crumbly paste in there to thicken it up a bit. And we'll just, ooh, that's a big chunk. Big, big, big chunk. We'll see how this dissolves. And get this thickened up. I know at one point I suggested in the, talking about the chalk paste, about putting it in the microwave or putting hot water to it. If you ever do put your jar in the microwave, don't put it in for more than 5 seconds, and please make sure that you do not have any foil on the rim of at the top of the jar, because some of our jars had come with like a little foil topping or a little foil sealer to it, and you definitely don't want that going in a microwave. But I wouldn't try for more than 5 seconds at a time. I think just really safer just going with adding the hot water to it as opposed to doing any nuking the paste itself. Okay, I think this is good. I'm gonna gather this up a little bit and do my little chalking here. Whoops. Got my squeegee. Just grab some paste. Oops. You want to smooth it out. Make sure you go through all the silk screen. Smooth over it, remove your excess paste, and then generally put it back in the jar. Obviously, I'm not putting that back in the jar because I have no jar. Okay, and I'm going to just lift this up slowly. I've got a little bleed on the bottom there around my G, probably because my paste was a little bit too loose yet. Let me get something to take care of that. I find these little Swiffers to be very, very helpful. They've got a pointy end and a little paddle end, and I could use the pointy end. How do you like that? Just stick my arm right into the stir stick, and I could just go right, oops, right across it. Okay, that didn't work real well, did it? You know what? Let me wet this, and I forgot. Anybody notice what I missed? I forgot to wax this. Always a good idea to wax your wood board. I'm going to come back over this with just a little, clean that up a teeny bit where it bled, and then when this dries, I'm going to clean up my transfer and come right back over my transfer and fix that G. It'll be easy enough to do because this transfer will dry pretty quickly. There's only one little area to clean up. Anyway, onward and upwards, right? So what I want to do with my, oh goodness. Seriously. Oh, I'm off camera. This is a doozy. I stuck my arm right into the stir stick, and then I turned around and got it right on the bottom of my pallet board. Seriously. Comedy of errors here. Okay, I could clean that up with a board eraser. It'll take off the little bit of image that I still have there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let me clean up my arm. Oh my goodness, now I know why my mother didn't let me finger paint when I was a child. Can imagine the mess I would have created. Okay. Okay, I just dropped part of my floral. So all I want to do with this is basically intertwine it a little bit through my jute. I might fiddle around with this a little bit and trim it up. Might be a little bit too long for what I was actually going for here. So I'll probably trim that, take off the bottom. I want to make sure my florals aren't too wet here. And these are some nice wired little leaves and flowers, so it's kind of easy to bend and get them however I want them in here. And let's see, get my leaves down here a little bit more. Oops, and I want my flowers right up there, front and center. Let me bend them a little bit. I don't know, maybe this is a little bit too much here. Let's take that one out. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Just pulling some of my leaves out so that I could kind of get them in the right position. And I am going to cut off, oh, maybe I won't, maybe I'll just tuck it behind it. There we go. And then all I have to do is hot glue my hoop to my surface. And I lost a little flower. I could probably just glue that on here. Simple, easy, not, no, I wouldn't say striking. I think it's just kind of a little feminine touch to it, but a little rustic with the jute. And I think it goes well on the palette board. Obviously, I could have painted the hoop white, or I could have actually painted it with the paste also. Just some ideas. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Obviously, I have to hot glue this, but that's pretty much it. Quick, easy little project. Have a nice rest of the evening, and I will see you soon.